I grew up in Newark, New Jersey. That's hood. Socioeconomically, that's as cliche as it's gonna get. Food stamps, Caesar's $5 pizza every other night for dinner. That's the type of people you need in your life.
Yeah.
Not the yes men, not the people who are cushioning you and seeing this false reality of the world, but rather the ones that are just like, bro, you don't got it anymore. That's a hard thing to hear. So Lyft basically came to us and they're like, we're interested. Like, okay. We hit up our lawyer and we're like, okay, we think we want to ask for a little bit above valuation. Yeah. And they're like, we don't think
you're valued at that.
You're worth half. And we're like, sure.
Ryanne, welcome to the podcast.
Oh, hey, what's up, guys?
So when you go to New York or LA or Chicago, you might see electronic billboards on top of Lyfts and Ubers. So
Actually, not Lyft and Ubers.
Just Lyft?
Only on taxis. It's illegal to put it on Lyfts and Ubers in New York City.
Just in New York?
Yeah, just in New York. Everywhere else is legal. Why? Bro, taxi kingpins. Well, we can get into those stories a little bit.
Do taxis still, because in New York, it's easier to flag down a cab than it is to call a Lyft or Uber.
I only use taxis in New York.
Okay, you do.
Yeah.
Okay.
But regardless, that was you. Those billboards.
Yeah.
How did that even happen?
It was sophomore year. I was at Penn, and I get a text message from my roommate. His name's Nabil. And he's like, meet me at this place called Ochado, which is a sushi spot on campus. And so I'm like, okay, probably just want to get lunch, dinner, whatever. So I go there and I walk in and it's him and one of my other friends. They're just sitting down. I'm like, oh, okay. I didn't know he'd be here as well. And they're like, sit down. I'm like, okay. And then right off the bat, they're like, we have an idea. And I'm like, okay. And then they said, we want to put digital ads on top of cars. I was like, what the hell? I've never seen a digital ad. And I was like, this is for taxis. Why are we doing it? And then they gave me the spiel of, we were walking down, we have a street called Locust. We were walking down Locust and we saw this bus stop ad. And a bus stop ad or a billboard, I forget what it was. And it was like a really big brand. And we knew that ad cost a lot of money. And we were like, but no, they can't really control who's looking at this ad on a daily basis. So it could be me, it could be like some random schmuck, some random like homeless guy. There's zero control, but they're still spending so much money on this bus stop ad. So we said, okay, but the bus stop ad categorically is called out-of-home advertising. It's basically all ads that are just
I know it well.
Digital. You used to work in it?
So
I told you this.
So all the
all the buses,
everywhere.
Yeah. Spending a ton of money
still
on that.
There. We bought Q1 by the buses are still running around.
And they're expensive, right?
I mean, we spent $4 million.
That's insane.
Yeah.
So for context for people that are listening, Vishal was one of the people that was behind all the high-rect ads. Yeah. So everywhere you go,
if you lived in San Francisco, you've seen one.
And he was one of the people. If you were in India, bro, those rickshaws, those little three-wheel things, they had high-rect banners. That was this guy.
So people are spending tons of money on that form of advertising, but there was zero sophistication with it. People were spending way more money on digital ads because there was targeting. So we said, okay, if we could bring targeting to this out-of-home advertising world, we can not only charge more, but we can also take ad dollars from people that are spending money on like boring old ways of out-of-home advertising. So we said, okay, how do we bring targeting? We thought about location-based targeting. So what's something that's moving that will get into a new zip code and suddenly have an entirely new demographic of people to advertise to? And we thought the reason why we thought Uber and Lyft cars was because there were already ads on taxis. So we thought, okay, let's just put this on Uber and Lyft cars. And it's actually way easier to get it on Uber and Lyft cars because you'd only have to convince an individual driver to put it on their car. You tell them, hey, we'll give you $400 a month. Just put this on top of your car.
Right.
And they'll not always, I've had lots of no's, but they'll usually say yes.
Sure.
Yeah. So then we just did that over and over again. And advertisers eventually were like, yeah, we like this more than billboards. And they just started.
So you were competing with like Outfront, Clear Channel.
Those guys. What's the one that starts with a J?
J.
It's like French. Clear Channel, Outdoor, and then I forget. I should know, but
we'll find
starts with the J.
So this was your first...
JC Deco. Yeah.
This was your first startup.
This was my first startup. Yeah.
And so how did you guys go about the whole talk to your users? Did you know to do any of that, or were you just like, okay, this is a good idea, let's go build it?
At that point, I had done this one entrepreneurship program in high school, my junior year of high school, and so I knew about the whole talk to users, building product. I had to do a mini startup there. And so I learned a little bit of that skill set. The most important skill set that I learned there, because I was the one in charge of user or driver acquisition, the most important thing that I learned from that high school program was not just how to go and find those people, but how to repeatedly take no as an answer and still go and find that next person. Because, dude, when you the way I'd go find drivers is, this was Philadelphia, and we have this train station called 30th Street Station, and there'd be a bunch of Uber and Lyft drivers parked outside of it all the time. And so I'd come up with these flyers, and then I'd bounce from car to car, and I'd go up to them, and I had the same sales pitch. I said, hey, we are willing to pay you $400 a month. We just need you to put this screen on top of your car, and usually show them a photo of it. Bro, it was like cold. We started this October of 2019, and this was like November, December.
It's cold, and the people are cold.
And they were all telling me no. I'm like, damn.
And not the nice no, right? It's like, it's Philly, like,
they were
drivers.
Like, they literally would say, I got a passenger. Can you leave me alone? I was like, all right, sure. And I would just go to the next person with a smile and say, like, do the spiel all over again. And then eventually, some people said yes. We really needed one yes. This guy named Tony, he had a Kia Soul, and he let us put it on his car. Kia Soul. And bro, we really messed up his car though, because we had really bad like hardware. So we put it on top of his car. And one day he was driving like 60 on a highway, and I'm in class, like a marketing class. And I get this really, really angry text message. It's like, Ryanne, you scratched my car. And I was like, what do you mean? And then he sent me a photo. Bro, half the monitor was like completely displaced off the car. And there was a big scratch right along this side. And I was freaking out because this was our first guy and we already messed up. And so I literally left class, took an Uber straight to him. Yeah. We took it off the car. We paid him like $500 in cash. We're like, Tony, we're so sorry. Here, take this. And because he needed to repair his roof. And then we just called another Uber, put the thing inside of the Uber, and just went back to campus. So yeah. I don't know about that story. Oh, like, user acquisition, I think? Yeah.
Great. You got to talk to your customers and communicate. That's a great story.
We knew there to change the hardware so that this didn't happen with the second or third less understanding driver.
What was the development cycles of the hardware? Because I know from a software perspective, I remember reading articles like a year ago of like, oh, these guys used Airtable and a bunch of like no-code tools.
Yeah.
But what was the hardware process of building that like?
It was actually much easier than expected. My default now for anything hardware related is go on Alibaba and see if they've done it before. Oh, that was cool. You guys drank coffee and sync. But like,
I noticed it as you were drinking. I was like, not again.
I didn't think
I have ADHD, man. Like,
well, you're the second person.
You're not the first.
Shout out Ben, huh?
ADHD is for real a superpower. Anyway, so the first thing I do now is go on Alibaba and see if some guy out there has tried did he do this before? And bro, immediately we searched up taxi top advertising. We got like 20 results. We're like, okay, so this is not a novel idea. Yeah. But the application of it is new.
Because people do the wraparounds. Like I've seen that before.
Yeah.
But what you're saying about the targeting and the personalization, home run.
Yeah. And also, we didn't know this, but this was a thing in China. Like in certain cities there with this, like their taxi companies or even the
Didi,
that's what I was trying to figure out. Like they've done things like this. Also Singapore, they've done this. So it wasn't brand new. Yeah. So we bought the first 5 from like one of the manufacturers that looked interesting. Yeah. We bought that. And then we tested it on firstly my roommate's car. And then we found 4 other drivers to test it out with. And we ended up learning like the hardware, for example, failing and scratching the guy's car. That was a learning. We learned to use different types of roof racks, the things that actually hold it down to the car. And then we took all those learnings, and then one of my co-founders made the trip out to China, to Shenzhen, and spent about 3 days not only going to that same manufacturer that we got the first 5 from, but also going to others and saying, this is what we need, this is what we've learned, can you do it for us? And we made the decision to, after this was raising our pre-seed round, we just bought a ton, and that's what we started deploying in New York. And those came with so many failures that I've spent 4 years of my life just losing sleep over. Which we can get to as well if you like. But yeah, that was hardware.
Wow. Okay. Wait. Yeah. So what was the timeline in terms of raising the pre-seed?
So we unofficially started October 2019, incorporated January 2020, and raised pre-seed May of 2020.
You raised a pre-seed right after COVID started?
No, that's
2020 is when COVID started. So March 2020 is COVID.
Oh my God. Sorry. Bring it back one more year. Yeah. So October 2018. January 2019, raised pre-seed May 2019.
So one thing that's interesting to me is you guys incorporated, I guess, 3 months after you started working on it.
Yeah.
It's hard enough to get, I think, 2 people aligned in terms of like, okay, let's actually like take this seriously. You guys were 4.
4 people total, yeah.
So what was the conversations initially like in terms of like, oh, let's do this, let's build a startup, this could be something, let's incorporate, let's take it seriously.
Mm-hmm. That's definitely a tricky conversation. I think initially, because we made the decision to split it equally, there was no animosity, there was no tension or conversation around how much work then translates to how much equity you get. Everybody was bought into it equally. And work fluctuated here and there. Some people put in more hours certain days. Some people didn't put more hours certain days, but it all balanced out at the end of the day. If somebody noticeably wasn't putting in work, then we'd have a conversation. We'd be like, yo, you need to pick up the slack a little bit. And there were like more major decisions made at certain points throughout the company where people just like flat out didn't work on it. We were like, okay, we're going to have to reevaluate this relationship. And those are hard, but getting 4 people, I wouldn't do 4 people again. Mm-hmm. I would only do like 2, 3. I think I remember reading this blog post where it says like having more than, I don't know, 3 or 2.
3 is usually a red flag, more than 3. Exactly. 3 is like a good number though.
Yeah. But we were new to it. And the reason why we didn't incorporate was because it was just a side project. I remember we had the idea, and that same night we applied to YC. And
the same night.
And the next morning I woke up, I looked at my phone, and we got an interview. And this was like after not having discovered YC. Not really.
And this was like not like YC. This was like probably like not the peak of YC, but like when it was up there. Because after COVID, it definitely got a little. I don't know. I think the quality dropped a little bit, but 24-hour turnaround for an interview.
Winter batch 2019, yeah. That's insane. I remember waking up my roommate. I'm like, dude, we got an interview.
Your roommate was your co-founder,
one of my co-founders. Yeah.
How was that?
That was good. I will say I would not do co-founding, or I would not be co-founders with friends again, because generally this is like life principle actually as well. When money enters the mix with friends and family, it sours. It has the potential to sour the relationship because it's no longer about like genuine friendship, but now it's like who gets what.
Definitely. And what were the things you had to learn from like you were in charge of user acquisition even after things started taking off, pre-seed, et cetera?
Yeah, I was in charge of driver growth and operations.
So what were the things you had to like teach yourself early on?
Oh, I had to teach myself how to scale myself from like 1 person to 10 people. And this is where a lot of no-code tools came in. So Airtable, Zapier, Typeform, this one software called Referral Rock, which helped me build an entire referral engine with no code, and Twilio Flex. Yeah, I love Twilio. Those 5, I think, just powered my entire operation, where I was able to effectively 10x myself in terms of reach, in terms of messaging, in terms of actually being out there, in terms of word of mouth. It just amplified everything. So learning those things and just being really committed, because when you look at Zapier, it's daunting. Yeah. It's like, what the hell am I looking at? Yeah. And then you use it over and over and over again, and then you figure out bugs, and then you just figure out, you watch tutorials online. It's actually quite fun. Yeah. Because it's like you're literally coding. Yeah. And you're always thinking about a more efficient way to do something, and you hop back in and you like start shifting things around. Yeah.
Okay. And so now I guess it's May of 2019, you raised the pre-seed.
Yeah.
And then how long did you guys work on it before you ended up selling it?
We worked on it from May 2019 until the actual acquisition, like transaction date, was November 16th, 2019, that same year. But the interest, like when the LOI had been signed, was August.
So May to August, you guys worked on it, and that's when like the talks of selling it started.
Yeah. We had approached, so the company's Lyft. We had approached Lyft for a partnership, and then that conversation progressed because we wanted access to all their cars. It was really hard for us to find cars. We were like, why don't you go to one of these larger companies who have email lists and phone number databases.
And how many users did you have at this point? Like cars?
Not a lot. In New York, we had 60, and Chicago, we had 20.
Wow. Yeah. So you had started these. Oh, that's really crazy.
What was the reach out when you reached out to LinkedIn? What was like, oh, this is our value proposition, et cetera?
We were able to help drivers make more money, which at the time was a really hard thing for Lyft. Was driver acquisition. It's like they already made a big fuss about being independent contractors, and Lyft kind of squeezing them out with a really high take rate. So we came in as, not only are we able to help them make more money, but we're able to help them make more money profitably, because we make more money on the ads that we're putting on these monitors than we are paying them.
Why Lyft?
Good question. I don't know. I forget whether we reached out to Uber or not.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because one of them is known for the tech. I would assume Uber would be the one that is known for more of the tech savvy product.
Yeah. Frankly, if I were to like do it again, we actually debated when Lyft approached us with an offer. We debated like, should we shop this with Uber?
Yeah.
And we said no, because we liked the ethos of Lyft.
Interesting.
But if I had to do it again, I would have shopped it.
Really?
Yeah. Because of my own, just not just Lyft independently, but just big company. And Lyft specifically, actually, we can get into that.
That's what I was going to ask next. So, but even before that, so what was the process of negotiating that sale and actually making it happen?
This is so embarrassing because going into it, we all thought, bro, we thought we were can I curse?
Yeah.
We thought we were the shit.
100%.
We thought we were master negotiators.
60, you have 80. I mean, he has 80 like customers, and they're sitting at the table with Lyft for an acquisition.
Yeah.
And you guys are in college.
Yeah.
Less than a year after you had the idea.
Yeah, I was 19, man. I thought I'd watched enough like Startup School, Paul Graham. I was like, bro, I mean,
you're running the advertising industry, which it's an old man's game for the most part.
Yeah.
And it's driven by connections.
Yeah.
And here you guys are with 0 starting connections.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. So we were like, okay, so we definitely don't have much substance, so we have to like play it off as we have substance. So we raised that evaluation, and we told them. So Lyft basically came to us, and they're like, we're interested. Okay. We talked to our lawyer, which by the way are extremely expensive. But we hit up our lawyer, and we're like, okay, we think we want to ask for a little bit above valuation.
Can we use fake numbers?
Sure. Let's say we were valued at 20.
Okay.
And we asked for like 30.
Okay.
Okay, so we're like, let's ask for 30. And he was like, yeah, that's a good idea. So I remember we hopped on a Zoom call with their corp dev team. And bro, suits and everything. We walked in, we said, hey guys, you guys are interested? Nice. This is how much we want. And we said 30 million. And then they were like, oh, okay. Can you give us like a day or two? I'm like, yeah, fantastic. And so I hung up the call and we're like, we're about to get 30 million in the bank. And so 2 days pass, and they email us. They're like, hey, we'd like to have a follow-up phone call about the price that you guys are asking for. And so we hop on the phone call, and we're ready for them to be like, oh yeah, we think that's a reasonable price. We'll go with that.
Yeah.
They asked us for like 10 million. They're like not only are we not going to meet your price, but we don't even think your original valuation was a fair valuation.
Wait, so they offered you 20?
No, they said we're gonna give you 10.
No. So you said 20 before.
That's how much. Like that's how much we value. Like hypothetically, we value that from our pre-seed round. And they're like, we don't even think
we don't think you're valued at that.
I think you're worth half. And we're like, sure, we'll go with that.
So, okay,
bro. When you go from like 30 to 10, we're like, yeah, like
awesome.
We were just worried they might go lower. So we said, yeah,
we're trying to eat lunch tomorrow.
That's what. Hey, we had $5 foot long Subways every single day for like 3 months. Don't even talk to me.
They're not $5 anymore.
Yeah, inflation, man.
They're like $12.
Blame Biden.
Yeah, this is a political podcast now.
No, we're good.
Okay, wait. So now they say whatever, like they half it or like they drop it a lot lower.
Yeah.
And so you guys say, okay.
Yeah. We're like, fantastic. give me the papers right now.
Yeah.
How long did that like diligence, deliberation process take after that?
From August to November. So about 2.5 months.
And
why? We can go into why. You want why? Mm-hmm. Because we were such a small company, but Lyft did not account for that when doing their due diligence. They used the same due diligence process as if we were like $1 billion company. And so they opened up the data room and we put in like a bunch of, like literally they asked for every single document we had ever signed.
Yeah.
And at our size, those things are irrelevant. Like, who cares about this receipt from Subway? They asked for shit like that.
Yeah.
I was like, this does not matter. But we still had to put all of it because again, we were like, whatever, right? We'll go through the pain and suffering. So there were sleepless nights, man. We were just trying to we had to claw back agreements that weren't even signed. Ooh. We had to go to people and be like, yo, by the way, I know we didn't sign this before, but we need you to sign it now. And we'd always be very fuzzy about why we suddenly needed everything in writing. And so I had to go back and reach out to all of our drivers and make sure that they had signed things. Because sometimes if I really wanted to make like a sale with a driver and get them to put this thing on their car, sometimes I would be like, we'll do that.
Of course.
And we'll sign this later.
Yeah.
And then this all came to bite me in the butt. I was like, okay, we actually need you to sign this.
Yeah.
And it was like
not because we're selling or anything. There's nothing important going on. I just really need you to sign this next week.
Right here, or else I'm going to take your monitor back. But yeah, that's why.
And then before even, so what were the terms for you guys? You guys all joined like the Lyft corporation in some capacity?
3 out of the 4 of us.
Okay.
So one of our guys decided to go back and finish Penn. We were both sophomores about to go into our junior year. Mm-hmm. And so one of the guys decided to go back and finish his degree. I, at this point, was like, let's roll. Let's ride. And Penn is very generous with how much time they give you off. And you can take off up to 4 years. So I took that junior year off and we joined Lyft. They kind of built a team around us. So we weren't like our own team, but rather they kind of put management over us to steer us because we were all still young.
Yeah.
Right. I understand that decision. that was 1 year, and then I was like, okay, it's quite nice. And so we did another year, and then a third year, and then eventually that party.
How did you like it?
It was good and bad. I think some of the good parts are that you have money, you have a corporate card, and you're just you're swiping anything that, because it's all about like moving quickly. Anything that you need, swipe the card. And you don't this time you don't have to worry about the Mercury Bank suddenly depleting.
Yeah.
But rather it's, I don't know, some JP Morgan Chase account.
Sure.
And I've since become way more frugal with how I spend my money. Right. I was at Lyft and nobody told me, hey, you should kind of be frugal. It was always about just get it done.
Yeah.
Like, okay. And they would know that the spending would happen. But when you're doing your own startup, you absolutely want to be frugal. It's money. But that was like the good thing. And so I was able to like move very quickly. And what they did, they kind of created a shield over us within the company where bureaucratic things didn't seep in and hinder our work.
That's amazing.
Yeah, right? Which is so unexpected. That didn't come though until like after a year where we were like mired by a lot of bureaucracy.
So you earned it.
Contract. Yeah, not earned it. We went and asked for it.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It was so bad. They were like, guys, we can't do this.
Yeah.
And they were like, okay, well, we'll put some shielding over. Some of the bad things are, very risk averse. Yeah. Like, you can't do the things that you were doing in a startup.
Yeah.
You want to pay this guy some amount of money, even though it'll yield like a really high return. No. Legal won't approve it. Lawyers within companies are make or break because nothing happens without a lawyer's approval. You can't sign anything. You can't get you can't buy any software. But we were like, we bought Superhuman and they were like, you can't do this. We were able to. We were able
Superhuman.
Yeah, not even Superhuman was allowed there. So we were flying under the radar with it, and eventually they're like, you can't do this.
Because it doesn't sync with their
data
platforms?
privacy. Data privacy stuff, which is again understood, but like to an extreme. Come on. Like I really like Command K. Like, please. I like archiving emails. I have to deal with Google again. So those things sucked. And it was sometimes we had good lawyers, we had bad lawyers. Some lawyers did not understand properly the risk trade-off. There were some things that, yes, were risky.
Yeah.
But at the size at which we were dealing with, this wasn't overblown risk. I get for regular rideshare, if you did this, then the press is going to come down your back. But this is easy. This is like dealing like 10 cars in Chicago. Nothing's going to happen.
Yeah.
So that was like just learning to deal with that. The big company politics. I wouldn't work at big company. I really don't like
How much were they helping you apart from the finances as far as business acceleration?
They gave us a budget every year.
Yeah.
And it was up to our discretion as to how we wanted to spend the budget. They helped us quite a bit. Like if we needed a mechanical engineer, we had a mechanical engineer. Okay. We'd borrow one from another team.
Yeah.
Like, you know, the bikes here in SF, we had a guy that was working on the bikes. He was a mechanical engineer for the bikes. Oh. We said, hey, we need you to look at this circuitry. Yeah. And he spent like a month with us in New York, just taking a look at it every single day. And eventually fixed itself.
Were you based in New York or were you based in SF when you were doing this?
Based in SF pre-COVID. And right before COVID hit, I moved to New York because I had to go to New York to launch that market. And that involved like a multi-million-dollar taxi deal contract. Like basically a taxi company there allowed us to put this stuff on top of their car. And our entire team was supposed to move there, like 4 or 5 guys. And we were supposed to live in this $10K a month penthouse apartment. I was the only one that went. And so for about 2 months, every single day, I just had this $10K penthouse apartment.
Wait, so they just said no? Like
family? I think like one of them had to go deal with family stuff. Yeah. Another one was very COVID scared.
And they didn't like put you in a smaller place? They were just like...
We already bought it. That's what I'm saying. Like, money doesn't exist at these companies.
Yeah.
Well, that's why their stock is like...
I was about to say, there's a reason.
Right now.
Yeah.
But like, it wasn't my decision, right? It was somebody else's decision. If he wanted to change the decision, he could have. But yeah, every day.
And you're from New York?
I'm from New Jersey.
You're from Jersey?
Yeah, but I'm from New York.
Yeah, but how crazy is that? Being from Jersey and growing up however you grew up and then having this 10K apartment and now you're working at Lyft.
And also talk about how you grew up in relation to all of this.
Yeah, bro, it do not add up.
Because all of your friends, peers are in school.
Yeah.
And you're living here, launching a market.
Yeah.
You know, doing all this.
It was very different. I'll talk about how I grew up. But I grew up in Newark, New Jersey. That's hood. And
Brick City.
Brick City. Wait, I don't even know that. Is it called Brick City?
Brick City, yeah.
Because it's like brick, like cold, or?
Sure.
Let's go with that. Yeah.
It was definitely cold. But grew up in Newark, born and raised there.
Yeah.
My entire life. And that was socioeconomically, that's as cliche as it's gonna get. Like food stamps, Caesar's $5 pizza every other night for dinner. And I'm not even exaggerating. Like some people sometimes exaggerate this stuff. Bro, I was happy when my dad brought Domino's, for example. I was like, we got garlic crust tonight. Yeah. But he was a butcher. So he brought some meat back home and we were able to cook that, blah, blah. Yeah. But it came with its struggles.
And you had siblings?
I had 2 younger brothers.
2 younger brothers.
Yeah. 2 younger brothers. Also like victims of gun violence. Like they're good now, but like victims of gun violence, shootings, blah, blah, blah. And then I remember, I don't know who, this one guy, one of my mentors, he made it extremely critical to me, or he made me understand how critical education was. Like education was making it out the hood. And I think 10th grade, I was like, I have to get it out here. And so I remember senior year, I was like, okay, I want to go to either Columbia or Penn. And I ended up picking Penn. And when I got to Penn, bro, it's imposter syndrome. Everybody there went to Harker. Everybody there went to Andover, Exeter. I'm like, I can't compete with this. Yeah. And I was like, no, we're gonna make something happen here. And so I really wanted to do consulting. And so I worked at BCG for my sophomore summer, and I was gonna go work there full time. I had a full time offer and everything, and then all this stuff came in. But eventually got over that. I was like, if there's one thing that I have over everybody here, is that I put in the extra hour. At the end of the day, I'm not. This is like getting into hustle, like Gary Vee stuff and stuff like that.
Talk your shit.
But when it was my thing, my company, my equity, my future, I'll ride or die for that. And everybody else was cushion, like, oh, I got my BCG internship, my McKinsey internship. Yeah, they'll fire you the next day if they wanted to as well. Yeah. With this, you either live today or you die tomorrow with the amount of money that's in the bank. So thankfully, like that work ethic, my dad primarily, and my mom never settled for second, but she took my Xbox away because I didn't get valedictorian in my 6th grade. I was like, come on, man, I want to play Halo. And so
I didn't even know.
So then you named the company Halo.
Yeah, no, that one of my co-founders, bro. Shout out to him, bro. That was a fantastic name. Yeah, that was a great name.
Yeah, and so you're at Penn. You're obviously, imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
And then how does that imposter syndrome transition over when you sell a company to Lyft?
That was also good and bad, because if there's one thing that like I would take away from anything I say, is that ego is the worst. There is nothing good about ego. Oh my God. And it's been a challenge for me. I used to be arrogant, so arrogant in my high school, and I got rid of it because somebody I really respected told me, you have to stop being arrogant. And then I wasn't arrogant when we sold, but I definitely thought I was on top of the world. I was like, this is the best success outcome of my class. But what that did is that it put me into this like bubble of complacency for 3 years. I was just like, I'm cruising. I basically rested and invested. What is it? Retiring at Google? The equivalent of that. I was like, I don't have to do anything.
Golden handcuffs.
Yeah, golden handcuffs.
Yeah.
I'm just cruising. And man, that dog, I couldn't find it anymore. It's like,
where'd it go?
Yeah, where'd it go? The moment I got rid of ego, I was like, you know what? You're actually not hot stuff, bro. That happened once. At this point, it's luck. You got to go do it again. You got to do it multiple more times. And then you can start saying like, yeah, I got that dog in me. But
and you came to that on your own?
Huh?
You came to that realization on your own?
No, Imran helped me.
Yeah.
Who we might know. Yeah. No, bro.
That's how we know each other.
Huh?
That's how we know each other.
Yeah, exactly.
Imran, yeah.
Bro, Imran, oh man, I would do anything for that man. Pause, but like I would do anything for that man.
Pause. Resume.
Not resume, actually. But no, I really, he helped me arrive at all these things. And that's the type of people you need in your life.
Yeah.
Not the yes men, not the people who are cushioning you and seeing this false reality of the world, but rather the ones that are just like, bro, you don't got it anymore. That's a hard thing to hear, man. That's a really, really hard thing to hear. When that's what defined you.
Yeah.
Up until that point. So yeah, like I felt like I did like, technically better than all my peers and all that, but just because I was in the lead, bro, you won't always stay in the lead. You got to maintain that lead.
Yeah.
And so I feel like I'm back in that zone a little bit now.
How did you filter people after you sold the company? Because also like, I mean, you grew up in like, I'm guessing like Muslim community.
Yeah.
Like, everyone knows everyone. Yeah. Everyone talks. Well, how did you filter your circles after that happened? Did anything change?
I didn't. I wasn't very proactive with like who I spoke to and who I didn't speak. I spoke to everybody. I was just generally happy to meet anybody. Everybody has their own story. Everybody has their own endeavors. So I was just very happy to meet everybody. And to this day, like I don't know what people's true intentions ever were with like meeting me or befriending me. I try not to assume ill intentions, and right, it can happen, but I will say that trust and loyalty are very critical things for me. And the moment you breach any one of those, That's it. It's like, it's a zero tolerance policy.
So one strike. Like
I don't have to explain myself to you. You don't have to explain myself to me. Bro, you can spend a lifetime building trust with somebody, and all it takes is one thing. And that's it. It all comes toppling down. Yeah. So that was my criteria. I was like, listen, you and I, just trust. Just don't go behind each other's backs. Don't do anything dirty. Keep each other in your best interest, and we'll have a great time. We broke that. We move on.
Yeah.
That hit deep, right?
Yeah. That heavy, no?
Yeah, no, I think I got that from Imran too.
So we, for reference, we know each other. I think it was Ramadan last year.
Yeah.
I was with my, at the time, co-founder.
Yeah.
And Imran was like, oh, my boy Ryanne's at an iftar, right? Yep. It's like a dinner. That's how I would explain it, right? Was that UCSF?
UCSF, yeah.
UCSF put on like a iftar for the Muslim kids.
Yep.
Imran's like, oh, you should go there. He's really cool. He called me this like younger, more like ADHD version of himself.
I think so.
Something like that, right?
Yeah.
It's like I come up to you and we start talking.
Wait, by the way, you were not gonna come. I remember this conversation. He told you to come, but you were like, and then he gave me your number, and I was like, Omar, can you pull up? And then we were talking about traffic on the Bay Bridge. I'm like, I don't care, bro. Pull up.
Oh yeah, we were late. We were like 30 minutes late.
So you were debating like whether it's worth it or not.
Bro, I was waiting. I shouldn't say it, but yeah, we were like.
I got receipts, bro. Minutes. Don't even try.
Yeah.
But yeah, we started talking at the dinner.
Yeah, and we talked about. I don't think we knew about Halo at that point.
Mm-hmm.
We talked for a solid like hour or two.
Yeah. And
then later, you ended up at my apartment somehow for 2 weeks. I don't know what was the.
I met you that night. I was like, damn, this guy's tall.
That's the first thing every single time.
The same reaction.
Hour-long conversation. He's like, he's kind of tall.
Mad tall. Yeah. But no, from that conversation alone, I was like, oh, this guy has a dog in him. It makes sense, bro. Imran introduced you to somebody, that person likely has the dog.
Yeah.
Or her. I think from that point onwards, oh my God, I know what clicked it for me. Okay. So it was like maybe a year from that last time we met. And I was coming to SF for these like last 2 weeks. I don't know if it was a year. Oh, it's not a year. It's less than a year. Yeah, like 6 months maybe.
Yeah.
And I remember one day, you just, I think you randomly FaceTimed me.
I did.
Yeah.
I did, yeah.
And that was out of the blue. For generally like most people that I know, but more so for you. This guy met me once and he FaceTimed me. He was just like checking in on me.
Oh, wow.
I was like, whoa, that's quite forward.
Yeah.
I like this guy. And so I was deciding like, well, where am I going to stay here? I hit you up. I'm like, bro, forget about the pad. I kind of just wanted to be more around you. Yeah. I just wanted to like talk to you. I wanted to see what your life was like. And you could have put me in the bathroom. I would have been fine. I am the most low maintenance person you'll ever meet.
It's true.
Don't say it's true, bro. I don't know what you're referencing right now.
Bro, it's low maintenance.
Just keep the examples to yourself.
Put me in the bathroom. It's true. I did that. I put him in there.
I sleep in the tub. No joke. Honest to God.
Because the grind, right? You really want to feel the grind.
Not the grind. I just don't want to. Bro, big pause. Not the grind.
Hey, yo,
I wasn't even laughing at that, bro. I was laughing. You took it seriously.
Imran would have died at that one.
I don't like being a burden to people.
Yeah.
Right? You're already providing me with heat, a roof over my head. I'll take whatever you give me.
Yeah.
I'm grateful.
You know, I think what was interesting for me is I always saw you on Twitter hyping up KO because we both got in like the first round, angel round for KO. Yeah. And so at one point, your Twitter bio was literally like, angel investor in KO, don't ask me about anything else.
Don't ask me. Bro, even though it's not there anymore, don't ask me about anything else. I'm not talking about any of my other angel investments. I'm making you put that test light on your phone and you're down. Shout out. They're going to be on the App Store in a week. Yeah. But for now, test light on your phone, give me 100 punches. And that's it. Bro, that's my invest. That's my boy. Forget about, I'd even invest in KO, bro. Imran could blindfold me, put me on a plane, take me to another country. He's like, sign, I'll sign. That's how much trust I have in him.
Why?
Imran has time and again, I tell this to very few people, but people who have this trait, but very few people will, again, tell you when something's wrong about you. And when they have the gall to say, by the way, this is what I've been noticing about you, I think you need to fix up the act a little bit. I'm like, whoa, this person's in my corner.
Yeah.
Very few of those people exist. And he's done that so many times for me. And so many of those times have given me an opportunity to reflect and realize, oh my God, he was right. You get sometimes so clouded in your own naivete and ego and judgment, blah, blah. So if you do that repeatedly enough, bro, I'll do whatever you say. Again, pause.
But that's tough. And
it's hard to find those people.
Yeah. But even going kind of on that note, how did your time end with Lyft? And talk about kind of the influence of the people around you.
Yeah.
And I always argue, we always talk about this. I think a lot of times you're a product of your environment, and that dog might leave you because of the people you're around. I not speculating with you. I'm sure that has a part to do with your decision of what you did. Whatever your co-founders did after with Lyft and kind of that transition.
Yeah,
can't believe we've said dog 6 times unironically at this point.
more than that.
Yeah.
Right.
The dog is important. But I'm so young. I felt like I stopped learning, and when I stop learning, my entire world shuts down. I become sad. I'm stagnating. Not even from like productivity standpoint. But man, what gets me out of bed every morning is learning. And I wasn't having any of that. I wasn't being challenged anymore. Like nobody would fight me on things. Nobody would debate me. I'm like, really? Every idea I have is good? And we're just rolling with it? And that's what happens when you have a lot of people that are just like, yes, man. Just like, yes. Let's go for it. And so I started realizing that a little bit. I'm like, I got to get out. This is bad. I was not getting up out of bed every morning. I don't know if it was like a depression thing, but I was just not excited. Imagine working on the same exact thing for like 4 years. That's it. That fire definitely goes out. And so I was like, okay, we're done here. I just have to go take some time off and re-explore the world, figure out what I want to do again. And
because you're doing well with your peers, consistent paycheck.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh my God. It's the
great position.
Paradise.
Perks. Yeah. Like whatever you want to do, you
At
can.
22?
Everybody respects you, right? As far as your peers.
Yeah.
And then you internally have to make that decision.
Yeah. I'd probably be cool with that at 30. But at 23, come on, like throw me into the pit again.
So what was the decision making behind going back to school?
This was threefold. Firstly, my mom.
Valid.
Shout out, mom.
Yeah,
love my mom. I made a promise to her. I said I'll go back, and even though I could technically have delayed for like a few more years, like 1 or 2 more years, this was also the right time because technically they're like with quite good financial aid, and that was gonna run out. Because what the funny thing there is, if I had waited 1 more year, they would have started to take my financials into account. But before, they were taking my parents' financials into account. And the moment they took my financials in, they would be like,
you ain't getting no aid.
Yeah, you're not getting nothing, bro. You got to pay for this full. I was like, damn, okay. I don't want to pay for it full because it's a lot of money. So I was like, okay, I have 2 semesters left. Let me just ride it on my parents. And then third is because, oh man, you've been out of school for a minute now, but when you're back in school, man, you are learning. Oh my God, it does not stop. And this differs from a place like New York, where I lived for 3 years, where if you want to talk to somebody, you got to schedule dinner, you got to meet up with. It takes such a long time. Coffee, don't even start. No, that still exists at Penn, by the way. Penn,
it still exists there too in Berkeley.
Yeah, like every student wants to be on a coffee chat. Yeah. But at Penn, you would just run into people. And that spurs a 30-minute conversation about X, Y. Like, bro, the amount of people that I put onto Chat GPT, I would not text people. I just run and find them. I'm like, dude, you gotta try Chat GPT.
Yeah.
People started speculating whether I was sponsored by OpenAI. Sponsor if you want, like, you know where to hit me.
Hey, sponsor us too.
Yeah, like, while you get him in, like look at us too.
Yeah, come on.
We got that dog in us too.
Yeah, they got all their questions for me were Chat GPT, man.
There we go.
Like, poor guy started a company, sold it. What are we asking? But yeah, no, it's and now what I'm realizing is, okay, I have that at school. How do I make sure I still have that when I'm out of school? Whether I'm living in these large cities, like, yes, I know I'm living here, right? But even then, how do I create my own ecosystem where I'm still surrounded by so much intellect and so much curiosity?
Do you feel that here?
Oh my God, bro. I love F. I can't stop geeking about it, man. And I sound like a fanboy right now. But truly, 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 man, I've been here for like, what, a week and a half? No, actually, a little more than a week now.
Yeah.
I've never woken up at 8 a.m., bro. I wake up at 8 a.m. now so I can get here on time. I wanted to be here at 8 a.m. The time it opened up, I didn't want to miss a second of it.
Omar not even here that early and he work here.
That's nice, bro. It's an hour-long commute.
We're not even here. He wanted to wake up before.
Bro, you know I'm shocked, bro. People coming in here at 11. I'm like, dog,
All right, why are you calling us out?
Hey, you said that. I didn't say it was you.
No,
but
I'm taking that personally.
I didn't say it was you, bro. I'm just pointing it out. I'm just saying. I see a figure walk in through the door at 11 a.m. Like
he sees one person. He's like, all of you guys are just messed up in the head. How could one person walk in here at 11 a.m.?
He's like, y'all are taking all this for granted. You know how privileged y'all are. Like, this is amazing. But go back to that. Talk about it.
Forget about like usefulness to me, right? It's great that I can ask people any question and they'll likely have an answer, which Imran told me a little. But Imran again, because he's actually part of the FDOT portfolio, he would just send me photos, and I'd be in class, bro. I'm jealous.
So like the view, like formation, all that stuff you're saying,
just like things that he's doing on a daily basis. Meanwhile, I gotta like sit like 80-year-old teaching me about ads. Yeah, I was taking an advertising course.
Oh, that's funny.
And I'm like, Imran, please. Well, I would beg him. I'd be like, Imran, please, bro. I'm begging you. Please get me out of here. And so the moment I came in, bro, like it exceeded my expectations as well. I met like you. This entire thing is really cool to me. Eric.
Yeah.
Can you do it for me? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
It's the wrong line, bro.
I know. I keep messing it up. That's what I think about when I see, because Eric made all this happen.
Yeah, true. That's true.
But I just love being surrounded by people who love what they do. You love what you guys love what you do.
Yeah.
And it's really hard to find that. Even in SF, right, where everybody's building their own thing, this is the place where that gets breeded and that gets enabled and what's the word? Validated. Yeah. People love it when you talk about your other stuff. And I've been validated, certainly. So I don't want to leave. I have to leave in like a week to go back to school. But
so you have 1 semester left, right?
Yeah, 1 semester.
How was your last semester? Because I remember we FaceTimed a couple times and it was always you at like a coffee shop.
Yeah, I was like writing an essay or something like that.
Yeah.
Now ChatGPT does it for me. Last semester?
Yeah. How you feel about it?
It's a full course. It's a full load. So pause.
Bro. Pause. How many times?
My bad, bro.
This is such a New York podcast. Unfortunately,
but no, it's like a heavy course load, and so I'm taking like a ton of classes. But actually, I'm taking all the easiest classes. I'm taking all the easiest classes because I'm realizing that I did college wrong when I was originally at Penn. Yeah, the professors are great. Yeah, like new learnings, blah blah. You want to take hard classes, challenge yourself.
Are you business?
Yeah, yeah. Wharton undergrad. No, it's about like meeting the people there. That's who's gonna stick with. Like, I'm gonna forget the LT, like lifetime value equation. I can Google that again.
Yeah,
I can't Google up some random guy that went there who I could have had the opportunity to meet. That's suddenly like now doing crazy things.
Yeah,
like, these are really cool people. You're never gonna get this opportunity again. So forget the class. Take the easiest thing you can do. Just get the GPA because at the end of the day, like GPA kind of still matters. I don't care about my GPA as much, but
I think it depends on your major. Like the thing for us in Berkeley, at least, or at least in EECS and like CS in the later parts of your degree, people say your GPA really doesn't matter. A lot of people don't even list it.
Well, they're still getting threshold, right?
No, I have friends with like 3.1s and 2.9s that are getting quant internships.
Oh, really?
Damn.
And they don't list it?
No.
Huh?
Oh, wow.
But they also have like a lot of interesting stuff that they did alongside school.
Yeah.
Like I feel like there's a archetype of person, at least that I've come across in Berkeley, who their GPA is not great. They probably never go to class, but they're also like super smart and they're building some like, one of my friends built like a whole like, he built a stable coin with like a bunch of other kids from Berkeley and it like got top 20 listing in terms of market cap.
Yeah, wow.
And then there's other people who like do these insane like startups and a lot of them don't even drop out, which is super cool, but their GPAs are crap, right?
Yeah.
They have no problem finding jobs 2-3 years later, which I think is something people don't realize. Like you can still kind of have everything if you want to.
Yeah.
It's just certain sacrifices.
Yeah. That's by the way, where I really admire Berkeley relative to Penn. Penn is the most, I'm gonna stay in my path. It's gonna be investment banking, consulting.
What was that like?
Hedge fund?
The consulting internship.
Wow. Oh, that was fun. I was consulting for a grocery store.
Okay.
And so I had to decide how wide do I want to make the aisles?
Oh.
How high do I want to make the shelves to promote, like to I don't know, change the perception of the brand to be fresh and
you have
cheap.
like a team of like architects and stuff like helping you.
Yeah, there would be like a project leader, like consultants that were way older than me. And so I'll say consulting, fire. I would do it again. I learned a lot. Any one of these jobs to be honest, I don't say like, oh, you shouldn't do it. The only jobs that I criticize are the big tech jobs where you're not putting in 40 hours of like, bro, consulting investment banking, it's 80, 100 hours a week.
A lot of work. Yeah.
That's work. You're learning work ethic. You're getting the opposite when you're working at Google as like a PM, like 2. You're not, you got to write like a doc every week, and that's it. And so you're losing the dog. Anyways, so Penn had a lot of those types of people.
Yeah.
But because of that, those companies only cared about GPA. And so that incentivized people to maximize GPA.
Interesting.
So yeah, they had to get good GPAs.
How much of your, or not even how much of your life was split between social and academic, but how much importance would you put on academics?
Just get a good GPA.
What's a good GPA?
I don't know, 3.7 plus.
Yeah,
I think. But I would place way more of a focus on what's it called? On social.
Were you into clubs? Or were you in any clubs?
I was part of my MSA. I was part of this one effect. Well, I was an effective altruist before SBF.
Actually?
Yeah. We had this one club called something like empowering philanthropy. It was like kind of an investment club, and all the returns we'd make would go towards nonprofits that we deemed to be effective. It was all BS, but
what?
It was all BS. I did that. I wasn't really part of clubs on campus, but I was definitely like present. I'm loud.
Yeah.
I hope like this all.
Well,
like,
but you're a
I say
people
is not
person.
staticky.
You're good. You're good at holding conversations.
Yeah, I think I just love like learning about people. That's it. And whenever I've talked to somebody, man, do I know what it's like for you to get kind of a cold shoulder from them, or for them to visibly not care about it.
Yeah.
And so I never want to make somebody feel that way. Like whenever I'm talking to somebody, they are truly the most important person in the world to me in that given moment. And I think people feel that. And generally, and we talk about what's it called, being haters and stuff like that. Like
Imran. Imran's number one catchphrase for the last like year has been, "I'm a Muslim first and a hater second." Just hates on everything.
I think that's like funny, but truly like the life hack in life. Sorry, the life hack is to not hate anything. And this is going to talk about like love. But truly, if you just love everything by default, things go very smoothly. Where you tell, like somebody brings up something like, "Oh, I work in construction." And like, no way, like that sounds really cool. I love that you work in construction. Like, tell me more about it. And you learn. You're just like putting that ego away. And it's like, I don't know anything about construction, but please educate me.
Interesting. Well, off that, give me your real thoughts on the advertising industry.
I hate
what
it.
you learned. Would you go back?
No, absolutely not.
Why do you hate it? Tell me why you hate it.
I think it's net negative for the world because two theories. One is that the easier it becomes to make an ad, the more saturated our world becomes with ads. Okay. That's like a theory. I don't know. The second reason is because the more focus there is on ads, the less incentivized companies are to actually make a good product because you can compensate for it with the quality of an ad. Again, theory. I don't know if this is true or not. Ads certainly do help with discoverability. Like some things I would just never know if the ad was not there.
Yeah.
But again, there's like D2C brands. Oh, sorry, the dropshipping brands.
Yeah, they take a $2 product on Alibaba and just make interesting.
But you create an innovative way to advertise.
Yeah, but I did it for the bag.
Yeah.
Do you regret it?
Huh? No, I don't regret it. Come on, it's a bag. A bag's a bag. But I wouldn't do it again.
Okay.
Which might be another way of saying I regret it. Not sure.
I don't think that's.
So what do you want to do after college?
Oh, I just want to do more startups.
More startups?
Yeah, I think I view this as people are always like, go make your money. And then when you're 30 and you have like a nice back to sit on, then you can
start doing
stuff. That's bro. At 30, I won't be able to get out of bed, not because I don't want to, but because I have
motivation.
Like heart disease, man.
Yeah.
Not at 30.
I think there's more stakes, right? When you're older,
you
suddenly
have a family.
Exactly.
You have a family,
You
man.
can't be as aggressive. You can't take as many risks.
Bro, imagine telling my 2-year-old baby, you can't eat tonight because daddy like doesn't want to pay for like the Brex bill or something like that.
Yeah. Or it's not even being at home for 12 hours of the day.
And so now I have I have less responsibilities, more vigor. And so I want to expend all of that until I basically take as many shots at bat until I get to that point where the wifey's like, I got to go to med school. I'm like, fine. I'm like, fine. All right, I'll go get a job at Google. But hopefully then I never get
that. Hopefully you don't have to
but
do
it'll
that.
always be there because I know myself.
Yeah.
I know I can do those interviews. I know I can get the job. It'll always be there for me.
You can put in the 3 hours a week.
Who cares? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like who cares if I get set back 2 or 3 years? It'll be a fulfilling 2 or 3 years that I get spent doing something I really love that I own.
I'm sure you learn and you change a lot in the process because these are like you get experiences, I think, in this world that you just will never get in a corporate or like a stable setting.
Oh my God. Yeah. The number one thing, I hate taking no for an answer. Mm-hmm. Oh my God. If somebody tells me, oh, I can't do this, I can't do that. I promise you didn't ask yourself enough questions as to why you can or cannot do it. And if there's a will, there's a way. I'm a huge believer in that. And that you don't get that in the corporate world, bro. Somebody tells you no, there's no stakes involved. Like, that's it. Just take the no and do something else.
Unless you're in B2B SaaS sales.
I really want to try that sometimes.
You're probably good at it. I mean, given your background and just ability to build relationships with people.
Maybe, yeah. Like sales in general is just fun. I want to do more of that, like actual stake.
I mean, we're all in sales at a certain point.
Everyone's selling themselves. You're always, like, people say, oh, like, storytelling, creative stuff's not for me. You're always telling a story whether or not you realize it.
True. Yeah. I'm really bad at storytelling. I got to get better at that. But
you're pretty good. I think it's you need the right outlets.
Maybe.
Right?
It's definitely not Twitter.
Would you ever make content?
Oh man, I bought a mic like a year ago. I made a whole entire gaming PC setup, and I bought myself an RGB HyperX microphone. Oh, yeah, I was like, I'm gonna start streaming.
Oh,
and
I'm gonna start. Yeah, that didn't work out.
Did you try?
No, I didn't even, bro. Okay. I think I set up the OBS. I'm like, oh damn, I don't have an Eric, so I was like, I can't do this. How do I? This shit's lagging. And so I was trying to like stream League or something like that. I was like, this is just not working out.
Yeah.
So and I thought about making a TikTok series where anybody can ask me to find something that they really want, and I'm the guy to go find that thing, because I'm decent at being able to find things that you wouldn't normally be able to find.
Okay.
And then I think this one guy he sent me a photo of like a Reebok jacket that he had when he was 3 years old. And then I was like, I got you, bro. And so I think I like did 2 Google searches. I'm like, damn, this shit's hard. I was like, I can't do this. So I just stopped.
It's like he's like, this is my superpower. It goes to Google, searches Reebok jacket.
I think I literally did that.
And he's like, jacket Reebok.
But I think the ultimate reason why I don't like content, or I don't like creating content, or I'm not even on social media anymore.
Yeah,
is because it's such a false view of the world. I also don't really like gloating or like seeing myself in this high flying figure. Even I'm not. But social media enables a lot of that. And when you have to create content, you have to be that person.
Yeah.
Right? You got to sell yourself as a certain way. And I might not be that. Go ahead.
I think you have to sell yourself a certain way, but I don't think you necessarily have to be like the high fly type.
Fair.
Sure, some platforms lend itself nicely to that. If you're on Instagram, you want to blow up. It's probably a hack to just act like you have a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
But what we're even starting to notice now is a lot of these creators that people really identify with, they show the negative sides of themselves.
Like
right?
Who?
They're very open.
Example.
I think Emma Chamberlain is a good example.
Great.
I've never watched her videos personally, but everyone I've talked to in like the creator economy space is like, bro, she makes a video for 10 minutes making coffee, talking about like, I don't know, some like trauma.
Yeah.
And everyone loves it. And then she starts a coffee brand and it sells out.
But she was one of the first
Chamberlain
to
coffee.
openly talk about trauma and her personal life,
and
depression.
That's starting to become something that's a lot more mainstream. And I really don't think you have to almost fake who you are and portray yourself in a gloaty face or in a gloaty way to make content anymore.
Yeah.
And also like from our conversations in the last few weeks, or in the last week, like you have a lot of interesting stuff to say that would do well in like a short form content, long form content.
Well, come to F. and we'll help you do it.
Ooh.
Maybe, yeah.
That's what we're here for,
dang,
right?
That's tough. It's an offer you can't. That's Eric.
Yeah, we are giving you Eric.
We won't be here before 11 a.m. But after that,
that's when the intrusive thoughts really come.
Yeah, it's like Eric is the moat.
Eric is the moat. Yeah, no, but truly, I don't think I've ever truly done it. Yeah. I talk so much about I don't think I'd like it, blah blah. I've never put out a TikTok. I put out like, obviously dancing TikTok videos.
You obviously dancing TikToks. You're talking. I don't want to make content, blah blah blah. But dancing on the internet, that's what I'm gonna do.
I did that for like my friends. That was like funny, but I don't think I could never sit in front of a camera and like, this is 6 ways in which you can sell your startup, which in theory is content that I can provide that not many people could.
Sure.
Yeah, but also like, tell me about 6 ways to sell your startup.
Who, me? Bro, I don't even know if I have the playbook. I could try 6 ways, that stuff, but no, I wouldn't be able to come up with stuff like that.
So one thing that's interesting, especially with Imran, is I think I've had some of the most interesting conversations surrounding faith with him.
Yeah.
You spent a lot of time with him. And he told me, he's like, the person I text the most in the world is Ryanne.
After his mom.
After?
Yeah,
okay. He didn't say
he
that.
texts his mom first more, and then he texts
and
me.
then he texts you, yeah?
I can't be everywhere.
Okay. So I'm curious how faith has, been a part of your life, especially going from very little to almost kind of having everything.
Yeah. First of all, sometimes there are non-negotiables. Like Juma, for example, every single Friday, there's the Friday prayer at noon. Can't lose that. That's the North Star. The moment you lose that, it all goes out the window. Second is you want to have people that don't come up to you and be like, yo, let's go pray. Imran is an example, but he does it. He's so annoying with it. But he'll come up next to me. He'll pick up like the prayer rug and he'll just leave. And I'm like, okay. That was his way of telling me two things. One, it's time to pray. Two, you forgot to pray. And I'm like, okay. That's more powerful than somebody just beating, like just,
sure.
What is it, like breathing down your neck about like, oh, you gotta pray. He's making me rationalize what's wrong with what I'm doing. So that's it. With faith, it's just having people that are always, like people who emanate remembering faith.
Right.
And who make it a key part of their lives, and eventually you'll make it a key part of yours. It's the whole thing of you're the average of the 5 people that you spend the most time with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's, God, man, I tattoo that on me. I can't, but like tattoo it on me. That's
he said he can't because technically you're not supposed to have tattoos.
Yeah. Imran told me that one. No, I'm just joking. But yeah, it's faith is important though. Like all else were to go away, at least for me.
Yeah.
If I have faith, that's it. I have purpose. That's it.
Because I mean, you've said similar things.
Yeah.
Faith is purpose for me.
100%.
And that's kind of hard for people to wrap around their heads, which makes me really, really grateful because that's hard to convey and convince somebody else.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. It's a big, I think it's undervalued how much or how grateful you should be for even growing up in a family.
Oh, yeah.
That just makes it a part of your life.
Oh, yeah. 100%. Go ahead.
For you talked about like, okay, there were times where you weren't even able to get out of bed. And Imran has also talked a lot about how faith has got him through things in his life that have happened in a negative way. I'm curious if that's happened with you, even in startups.
Oh, yeah. I think a lot of my principles come from being a Muslim. And with people that I've spent time with, the moment people act in ways that deviate from those principles, I'm like, I don't think this person's good for me anymore. And that might be their own, like they're going through challenges and might they get through it. I'm on and off this one. I don't know. But it's like when people are going through their own challenges, like what do? Do you step in and provide support? I think you do that first. And then if it's futile, right, just nothing's happening, then not only like you take a step back, but you take another step back. It's like, okay, like I was helping and now I'm not even going to be there. I have to go. I don't have time. It's hard, man. I really want to be there for people, but sometimes it's a bad influence on me and I can't have that.
But they also have to work on it on their own.
Yeah.
You can only do so much. And if you do too much, they could be resentful, right?
Yeah, exactly. Because now they think that you're you know it all, power, right? Yeah. You're better than them at faith, blah, blah. And you're telling them, oh, it's a bad thing to do. Call them like what, haram police?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's like when they always check people like, oh, you're doing that wrong.
Yeah.
But it's just like, I just let people ride their rides. And if we reconvene at another point in life when things have gotten better for you and things have gotten better for me, fantastic. I'm never sad about, unless it's like Imran or like somebody really critical to me, but I'm never sad about losing a relationship because they just come and go.
Yeah.
Right. Now's not the right time because you're both not putting in effort. There may be another time. Maybe you just weren't right for each other. Right? It's just like let it happen. If you wanted that relationship to happen, you would have put in the effort and the work, and it would still be there. But because you didn't, that's subconsciously the world telling you that you didn't want that.
Sure.
This is a good segue
into.
I
have no idea what you're about to talk about.
I would be scared if I was you.
Why?
No, he shouldn't be scared.
I don't know what he's gonna do. What's happening?
So I got some tweets of yours.
What? Oh no!
No, it's not.
His bio is pool guy minus the abs.
Yeah, we're working on that part. But I am a pool guy now. But what tweets are you gonna come up with, bro?
This one is one of my favorites.
Do you delete your tweets, by the way?
No, I've never deleted. I've deleted one tweet where I said I would do something and I didn't do it. I think it was making content and I didn't do it.
This is one of the best ones he had.
Oh god.
It was a tweet about someone tweeted about Elon Musk had twins last year with one of his top executives, right?
Oh no.
He has 9 known children, and he quote tweets it, Elon is a Nick Cannon of tech. For those of you who don't know, Nick, what does he have, like 10 kids now?
Bro, he has like 30.
He's 30?
Yeah, man. I've lost count. He's lost count too.
Jesus.
He's lost count too.
Yeah.
It's a lot of kids.
Bro, I mean, he is the new Genghis Khan. This is turning into a Joe Rogan podcast. Yeah, what else you got though?
This one's good. Because this one's interesting. Crazy that my highest ROI purchase this year is a Pokemon card set. IDK anything about Pokemon card values, but I was certainly an early observer of the resurgent hype on Twitch and YouTube. This is the benefit of hanging out on the edge of the internet.
Yeah.
And you tagged Blake Air.
There's a lot of...
This was 2020, so you got in pretty early.
Yeah, but I think I lost money on that one eventually.
How?
Because it was like a bubble. I purchased
you didn't sell?
No, I didn't lose money, sorry. I didn't make as much money as what's in that screenshot.
You made 100% gain.
I think it was like 25% because I just held.
Okay.
Yeah,
you still collect?
Huh?
Do you still collect Pokemon?
No. Do I collect anything? No, I don't believe in anything except the S&P 500 now.
Really?
Yeah, I don't even angel invest.
Isn't that down?
You don't angel invest?
Like rarely, unless it's like my friend. I don't even do that. I just S&P 500.
But isn't that down too?
Yeah, but that's time to buy. Bro, like these past 3 years have been a lot of me.
So you're just accumulating. What do you do, like dollar cost average?
Yeah, just DCA.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
On Robinhood.
No crypto?
Huh?
No crypto?
Absolutely. Ethereum, that's it. Actually, most of my net worth is in Ethereum.
Low-key, I think so.
Yeah.
A
lot of copium. We'll hope that goes up.
Are you down on that?
Yeah, very down.
Okay.
It's all right. It's all right. Bro, the money's going to get made some way, somehow. It'll come back.
It'll come
back.
And people got to the end, he's really smart. He's just down on a few of these things. You can realize how smart he is throughout the episode. So now when he's down on all this stuff, it's like, oh, give him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, just cut this part out. No, I'm playing.
Eric, clip that.
What was I going to say? Oh, I really like Blake, by the way.
Yeah?
Blake is one of my role models.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, Blake Robbins. Okay.
Yeah, that guy
from 100 Thieves. Yeah.
I really love that guy.
Okay. Here, I think we can end on this one. Okay. I seriously need a theological confirmation of whether Andrew Tate can qualify. How do you pronounce that?
Can qualify as the judge.
Oh.
Why would you tweet that?
I don't see a
Why
third
would you
eye.
think that?
I don't know. For context.
He has 2 eyes.
Bro, one of them could be a prosthetic. I don't know.
This is like literally about his eyes. I thought this was like a religious.
I don't know. That could also be makeup.
I thought this was a religious tweet.
It is.
Oh.
The Dajjal basically, like, if the Dajjal is present, that's the end of time.
And then you ended it with, I was never going to follow suit, but just making sure.
Oh, you know what that one was for?
What?
Because a lot of, like, girls hate Andrew Tate. So I just had to, like, place him.
Oh, my God.
I was like, just got to place the hedge a little bit. The more I play this off as, like, sarcasm, I genuinely am not. Bro, Andrew Tate.
Well, that shit makes me sick. I want to cry.
Yo, I can't believe I go to sleep.
Bro,
I can't go to sleep at night knowing what he does.
I'm going to break all these lights and cameras right now just thinking about what he does to the female population.
I don't doubt that. Vishal did kick over a light 10 minutes ago. He just punted it.
Okay. I think this is a good
This is a great time to end the podcast.
Vamonos.
Where can people find you online?
Twitter, I think. Yeah, Ryanne, Ryanne, and then Fadel.
Just
don't follow me for my content, though.
Follow him for other predictions of who he thinks is Antichrist.
And whatever he invests in, just do the opposite.
Yes.
He's
oh my
down
God.
on really everything.
Apart from KO. KO is up.
Yeah, no, KO. We up.
Anyways, thanks everyone for watching. Make sure you follow, like, subscribe, do all the YouTube things, and we will see you next week.